Hi, welcome to the quiz. You can answer along on quizalto.com, all for free. The exact URL of this quiz will be in the notes down below. Let's get started, good luck. Which of the following describes the deployment model of AWS Outposts? Cloud-only deployment model. Software-only deployment model. On-premises deployment of AWS hardware. Hybrid model without on-premises hardware. AWS Outposts involves deploying AWS hardware on-premises to create a hybrid cloud environment. What kind of workloads benefit the most from AWS Outposts? Workloads needing low latency and local data processing. Workloads with no specific compliance requirements. Purely cloud-native workloads. Non-critical batch processing jobs. Workloads that require low latency access and local data processing benefit the most from AWS Outposts, as it provides the necessary infrastructure on-premises. What is required to order an AWS Outpost? An AWS account and a valid address for installation. A third-party cloud provider account. A separate contract with a hardware vendor. Only an AWS account. To order an AWS Outpost, you need an AWS account and a valid address for the on-premises installation. How does AWS Outposts ensure compliance with data residency regulations? By automatically transferring data to multiple regions. By encrypting data and sending it to the cloud. By using third-party compliance tools. By keeping data within the customer's on-premises environment. AWS Outposts helps ensure compliance with data residency regulations by keeping data within the customer's on-premises environment. What is the role of AWS Outposts in a hybrid cloud strategy? Supports third-party cloud integrations only. Extends AWS infrastructure and services to on-premises locations. Only used for local backup solutions. Replaces the need for any cloud services. AWS Outposts extends AWS infrastructure and services to on-premises locations, forming a key part of a comprehensive hybrid cloud strategy. How does AWS Outposts handle software updates? Customers must manually download and install updates. AWS automatically manages and deploys updates. Third-party software is required for updates. No updates are required once installed. AWS manages and deploys software updates for Outposts, ensuring that the infrastructure remains up-to-date and secure. What is the significance of AWS Outposts for regulated industries? Only supports non-regulated data. It reduces regulatory requirements. It is not suitable for regulated industries. It helps meet strict data residency and compliance requirements. AWS Outposts helps regulated industries meet strict data residency and compliance requirements by keeping data on-premises and providing secure connections to AWS services. What is the role of AWS Direct Connect in AWS Outposts? Acts as a backup internet connection. Only supports non-AWS applications. Used solely for security purposes. Provides a dedicated network connection to AWS. AWS Direct Connect provides a dedicated network connection between the on-premises outpost and the AWS region for consistent and secure connectivity. Which AWS region connectivity is required for AWS Outposts? Any AWS region worldwide. No AWS region connectivity is required. Multiple AWS regions simultaneously. A specific associated AWS region. AWS Outposts must be connected to a specific associated AWS region to ensure proper functionality and integration. What are the deployment options for AWS Outposts? Only virtual deployments. Rack and server form factors. Third-party data centers only. Only server form factors. AWS Outposts can be deployed in both rack and server form factors, allowing flexibility in how the service is integrated into on-premises environments. What does the installation of AWS Outposts involve? Customer self-installation of hardware. No physical installation is required. Installation by third-party vendors only. Delivery and setup of AWS hardware at the customer site by AWS technicians. The installation of AWS Outposts involves AWS technicians delivering and setting up AWS hardware at the customer's on-premises location. What does AWS Outposts enable organizations to do? Only run data analytics workloads on-premises. Manage security policies across multiple AWS accounts. Only backup data to on-premises servers. Run AWS services on-premises while seamlessly connecting to a broad range of AWS services in the cloud. AWS Outposts allows organizations to run AWS infrastructure on-premises and connect to AWS cloud services for a hybrid cloud experience. What is AWS Outposts pricing based on? A flat monthly fee regardless of usage. The amount of data transferred to AWS regions. The specific configuration and usage duration. The number of users accessing the outposts. AWS Outpost pricing depends on the specific hardware configuration chosen and the duration of usage, reflecting the resources and services consumed. What kind of applications are not suitable for AWS Outposts? Hybrid applications needing local data processing. Applications with strict data residency requirements. Low latency, high security applications. Purely cloud-native applications with no on-premises requirements. Purely cloud-native applications with no need for on-premises resources are not suitable for AWS Outposts, as it is designed to bridge on-premises and cloud environments. Which AWS services are available on AWS Outposts? Only AWS Lambda and AWS Fargate. Only AWS IAM and AWS CloudTrail. Compute, storage, database, and other services such as ECS, EKS, and RDS. Only S3 and EC2 services. AWS Outpost supports a variety of services including compute, storage, database, and container services like ECS, EKS, and RDS. What is a key benefit of AWS Outposts? Low latency access to on-premises applications. Limited access to AWS services. Only suitable for backup purposes. High latency access to cloud services. AWS Outpost provides low latency access to on-premises applications and resources while maintaining seamless connectivity to AWS services in the cloud. What kind of monitoring is available for AWS Outposts? Continuous monitoring and management by AWS. No monitoring capabilities. Customer-provided monitoring tools only. Periodic manual checks by the customer. AWS provides continuous monitoring and management for AWS Outposts, ensuring the infrastructure operates smoothly and securely. Which network connectivity is essential for AWS Outposts? Connection to third-party cloud providers. Dedicated network connection to an AWS region. Public internet connection only. No network connection required. AWS Outposts requires a dedicated network connection to an AWS region to ensure seamless operation and integration with AWS services. What is the role of AWS Systems Manager with AWS Outposts? Manage and automate operational tasks on Outposts. Only manage user permissions. Backup data from Outposts to AWS regions. Monitor network traffic exclusively. AWS Systems Manager helps manage and automate operational tasks, such as patching and configuration, on AWS Outposts. Can AWS Outposts be used for disaster recovery? Yes, it can be part of a hybrid cloud disaster recovery solution. No, it is not suitable for disaster recovery. Only for non-critical data backup. Only for cloud-native disaster recovery. AWS Outposts can be integrated into a hybrid cloud disaster recovery strategy, providing local processing and storage along with cloud-based backup and recovery. Can AWS Outposts be used in edge locations? No, it is not designed for edge computing. Only in large data centers. Yes, it is suitable for edge locations requiring local compute and storage. Only for backup purposes in edge locations. AWS Outposts is suitable for edge locations, providing local compute and storage capabilities to meet the needs of edge computing scenarios. What is a key advantage of AWS Outposts over traditional on-premises infrastructure? Access to AWS services and tools on-premises with consistent AWS experience. More flexible licensing options. Lower initial cost than traditional hardware. No need for network connectivity. AWS Outposts offers access to AWS services and tools on-premises, providing a consistent AWS experience and integration with cloud services. How does AWS Outposts handle data security? Through third-party security software. By keeping all data off the cloud. By using AWS's security services including encryption and compliance. By relying on customer-managed security entirely. AWS Outposts utilizes AWS's security services, including encryption and compliance measures, to ensure data security on-premises. What is the primary use case for AWS Outposts? Running serverless applications only. Hybrid applications requiring low latency and local data processing. Exclusive data backup to the cloud. High latency data analytics workloads. AWS Outposts is primarily used for hybrid applications that require low latency and local data processing, providing a seamless connection to AWS cloud services. What kind of applications can AWS Outposts support? Applications requiring low latency, local data processing, and hybrid cloud integration. Applications needing high latency connections. Only backup and storage applications. Only applications without compliance requirements. AWS Outposts supports applications that require low latency, local data processing, and hybrid cloud integration, making it suitable for a variety of critical workloads. And that's a wrap. Thanks to everyone who participated. Remember, you can answer along on quizalto.com, where you can keep track of your progress and find much more quizzes. We hope you had a fun and challenging time. Until next time. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel for more. Hit the bell icon to be notified as soon as we upload. Please leave a comment if you have any thoughts or suggestions, and if you think this video is worth sharing with someone who could benefit from it, please forward a link to them. See you next time. Thanks for watching.